In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the MFL. I'm your host, Richard Myles Sr., along with my co-host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson from Fox Sports Radio. What's going on, Kelsey?
All is great. I'm excited to be back for another week of Inside the MFL.
You say it like we get ready to go out somewhere.
We're always getting ready to go out somewhere. We don't just stay in a box. You know that.
We're excited because, as you know, Africa 2020. All we've been talking about is that now. We're looking forward to the MFL. We have talked to a few new GMs this year. We're excited about
football right around the corner.
Absolutely. Up in New Jersey, we have the New Jersey Raiders. We have a former NFL player. His father will be GMing the New Jersey Raiders. So we're excited about that. Mr. Myles, we are excited about him being a part of this. Also, we have a special guest today. But tell me, Kelsey, the MFL, as you know, we're talking about economic development, jobs where there are none, and ownership. And we have to give a shout out to Mr. Robert Gatewood that, he had meetings tonight. He is busy as you. Yeah, he is busy as you, Kelsey. So, when we talk about the trip to Africa and all that, we doing and all the different people and all the different components that we're pulling together, how you see where this going before we introduce our guest that we have here today?
I think everything is so exciting. And currently right now in Black culture, we see this kind of going back to Africa movement. There's a going back to Ghana movement with more people trying to realize
emulate us. That's what they're doing.
They're trying to copy
Everybody
us.
all of a sudden want to go there because the MFL said they're going to Africa.
But I think really we see people trying to connect back to their identity. We know in this country, African Americans, we truly pretty much only know as far as this country goes back because of slavery and because of the loss of our culture and our heritage. But people are saying enough is enough. We want to know more. We're tired of the disconnect. And I think this is why it's perfect for the MFL's timing going to Africa, because it ties that there is no difference. We are all one, and that American style football can be brought to Africa to really connect us all. I think that it talks about the power of sports. And I've said this on previous shows, but sports has been something for a long time that has been a unifier, right?
Absolutely.
Because when you go to a sporting event, you kind of wash away all your troubles. It doesn't matter your sexuality, your religion, it doesn't matter, because for that hour and a half, or however long that game is, you're united. Depending on the sport. Look, I've seen some games go real quick because it was bad. Yeah. But you see people unify with each other, and you see people connect. You put on that jersey, you root for that team, you put on that war paint, and for that time or that duration of time, you're together as one. And I think that's what sports is so important. And then also you talked about it. I think many times when people think of sport, they only think of the athletes on the field, but you talk about it. The economy gets better.
Absolutely.
When you put a stadium in a community, guess what? People usually, for the most part, get excited because that means jobs. That means economic wealth. People always want to be around those centers of gravity. And if you think about it, that's why every time a team is for sale or anything like that, people start to fight for that team. Las Vegas is a perfect example. For a long time, Las Vegas has been around casinos and gambling. But what's happening now? You probably got a gambling casino in your backyard. We're no longer traveling to Vegas. We're no longer traveling to Atlantic City. So Vegas has found a way to revitalize their community. Now they're going to have the Raiders coming there, right? They have the football team.
Well,
they have the brand new T-Mobile Arena.
We was out there last year.
For basketball. They have a WNBA team. You get off the plane and the Las Vegas Aces, things are everywhere. So I think that Minor Football League is realizing everything that the Minor Football League could do for the continent. Yes, the continent. I'm tired of people saying the country. The continent of Africa.
Absolutely. And we have a special guest on Inside the MFL because, like I say, the eyes on the prize to Africa, and a lot of people and often you imitate it but never duplicate it, And the MFL is making some great strides, as you know. You want to introduce our guest, Kelsey? I put that on Kelsey because these names be getting us.
He always does. I guess a good host throws his co-host under the bus. No. I'm excited to introduce our guest. especially since he's in media. And I think it's fantastic the work
That's
he
your
does.
forte.
It is. That's exactly media introducing media.
Right.
So our guest is the publisher and editor-in-chief of the African Mirror newspaper. So we're going to learn lots more about this and again talk about connecting the MFL to Africa. So I will let him say his name so I don't mess it up. But I will let him give his name and his background into how he started this paper and just tell us everything.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Let me just say I feel so much delighted. I feel so much honored for this invitation. I must say thank you so much to the two of you. My name, I know, is a little bit tongue twisted. My name is Niyi Adebayo.
I wasn't going to try it.
Niyi Adebayo. Did I do it right?
Niyi Adebayo, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Niyi Adebayo. I ain't want to
Kelsey.
say it. I wasn't going to butcher that up.
Oh, but you almost got it, though.
Okay. Well, that be
You
after
gotta say it
100
slow
times.
the first time. Then it's natural.
So I'm a journalist, like you already know, and I've been in journalism in the media for like 3 decades now. I'm talking
Nice.
about
30
years. Yeah, I've been privileged to work back home in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I rose to the rank of an editor with my, and I eventually started a magazine called Marvel Weekly. Then I moved to United Kingdom, where I was privileged to edit another magazine, Entertainer International magazine. And then I came back to the US and I started African Mirror. We've done this for the last 10 years to the glory of God.
Wow.
So talking about my background, I have a bachelor's of arts in English language,
Nice.
and I have a master's degree in human services from United States. And like I said, I've been privileged to work in a couple of media organizations, and I just try to hold my head high. I mean,
Yeah, and you're doing
just
well
trying to
at
be like
it.
you when I grow up.
We all want to be
there
like
you go.
Mr. Myles.
Let me ask you, tell me the significance of the MFL coming to the continent of Africa.
First and foremost, I must say it's a very, very great initiative. And I have Mr. Myers to thank for that. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, that you even deemed it fit to consider Africa. It means you're trying to connect back to the roots.
Right.
Now, besides the fact that MFL will provide a source of entertainment, it's going to give a whole lot of economic empowerment.
Yeah.
We have a lot of youths on the streets that don't really have much things to do now. I mean, I'm not going to tell you about the story of Africa. You know how it is over there. Nigeria, for instance, which is my own home country, we have a population of about 200 million. And we have a lot of people that will graduate from colleges and they don't have anything to do. So the emergence of MFL in Africa, in Nigeria in particular, I believe they're going to love it because it's going to create jobs. It's going to create a lot of entertainment, recreation, and stuff like that. So I believe it's a welcome development.
And you know, when you say that, I never stress sports too much because basically it is sports. But we're talking about the laboratory of change.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, you have jobs for in media, okay? Then you have jobs in sports management, marketing, PR, training, all these different opportunities. And we want to prepare players beyond the field, from the field to the front office.
Yeah.
These are the types of things that the MFL is providing, and we want people to really, as we always say, experience the MFL, because you have to experience the MFL to see what we're doing, because it's not so much as just playing football. And what I'm most proud about, it gives an opportunity to own a professional franchise. Never in history we've been left out of the wealth in the world because we don't own anything, and that's what's so important about this. We want Africans to own the professional franchise that come there. We're not trying to take anything from them. We want to keep it there, you know. And I get excited about that. And as you know, Kelsey, I really get excited about that. I mean, you know, you're a journalist like him, so I know y'all have more in common than I do, but in terms of what we need to do. But as far as getting it out there, your media, you have that's a narrative that we can control.
That's right.
You know, mainstream media always control the narrative. They can't do that now.
No.
Because we had the MFL network, and then we bring it to it. Tell us in what ways, and I know you get ready to do a big thing on the MFL there, that push with the media there. Tell us what part that would play for the MFL.
Yeah, like you and I know, the role of the media is to create awareness. We inform, we educate,
Right.
and then we we give the narratives, like you just said.
The way it's supposed to be, as opposed to being watered down or misled.
So first and foremost, I say the media will definitely be there to create awareness about MFL in Africa. We have vibrant media organizations like they do in other developed countries of the world. So I believe the media over there will be more than excited to publicize, to write about it, to create awareness about it. Because, like I said, it's a very laudable project, and it's bigger than even you, the founder. I'll be honest with you.
So everybody said that, but I know how big it is. Believe me, that's why I'm still at it. 25 years where everybody thought I was crazy.
No, you're not. You're not. You know what you're doing. And I'll be honest with you, whatever kind of support, like I told you earlier, whatever kind of support I can give through my own medium right here, I'm ready to do it. Then there's going to be a little bit of synergy with the media organizations back home in Africa. We can collaborate with them, we can work with them, and then tell them, the way the whole thing is going to be done. This is our own thing right now, and it's going to be different from the way things are done,
Right.
I love that. I mean, it's an exciting time. You said it. You have to come experience the MFL. And that's why we say that, because it is an experience. It's something that you'll never forget. It's going to go up there at the top of your memories. And I think we talk about the media and telling the story. And I think now we live in the most unique time in history when everybody kind of gets to control their own story and their own narrative, because now it's in the palm of your helm. It's your phone. You can do videos, you can edit, you can do everything right here on your device that now everyone has. And I think the Minor Football League has a unique narrative in the sense that the Minor Football League is that, you said it, the laboratory of change. They're opening opportunities to so many young males and females in the realm of sports. And again, being that unifier. And then I think what makes it really unique and being able to tell that story is that minorities right now are the majority in the MFL, giving opportunities to all. And also youth get to see people that look like them, to say that we can be like you all, we can do it too. And I think that's what's so exciting about the Minor Football League and what we currently have going on. What do you say, Mr. Myles?
Absolutely. But then again, the MFL is the laboratory of change, because when you look at it, think about this. This is the first time people of color will have an opportunity to own something. We not had that opportunity to own anything. And right now, we have that opportunity, and we need to take advantage of that opportunity, because remember, this will never, ever come again. This will never happen again. I want you to, and I'll let you expand on that again when I say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, the project itself is bigger than the founder. I'm going to say that. Because I can tell you, what I mean by that is this: it's going to outlive you. Several years after.
Well, I got enough grandkids.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
I have enough grandkids.
Your family
it's the
will
legacy.
pass it on.
It's the legacy.
And that's the legacy of it all.
That's the legacy. That's what I mean by saying it's going to outlive you. It's bigger than you. What you're doing, you probably don't know how big the whole thing is right now.
I always knew.
Yeah, okay.
I knew when people did not believe in me but me. And I tell people all the time, it's good to dream, but the only problem with dreaming, you have to wake up eventually. What I mean? A vision is always there.
It's true. It's true. And like you said, it started as a dream, but now it's a reality. And now it's not only a reality for yourself, it's reality for everyone. It's a reality for all. And again, that's why you tell people to come experience the MFL. And again, other than the NBA, you don't really hear much talk about other sports leagues going to Africa. So right now, the NFL has the big push in London. So, everyone's saying it's probably going to be the Jaguars franchise that eventually does move to London. Wow. That's why they've been having a lot of games there. And then Jacksonville, unfortunately, they don't get the attendance. If you've ever been to a Jaguars game, people are not going to watch their NFL football team. And then the NBA, of course, has roots to Africa because a good amount of those players. I'm talking to a Georgetown grad, right? Dikembe Mutombo, and so many others. Giannis Antetokounmpo right now, the Greek Freak, is one of the big people that helped to initiate that, but just so many others. But I think Myles and what he's doing with the minor football league, again, bringing a new style of football, American style football, which has been proven, and me and Myles have talked about this, but I've had Christian Okoye on my show, and I think he was really the first player to really prove that, it doesn't matter where you come from. He didn't start playing football till he was 22 years old, and he found success in the NFL. Kansas City Chief legend, right? Christian Okoye was able to do, but in Africa, it was soccer. Yeah. He came here, went to university here, and learned how to play football. And then now today is, when you think of great running backs, Christian Okoye is in that mindset. And what Myles is trying to do, I think, is continue that legacy to say.
What I'm going to do.
What you're going to do. There you go. What you're going to do, which is why the MFL is heading to Africa. This year, 2020 is here, opening operations. And I'm just excited to see, because all those places the MFL franchises start, there's going to be something very unique in those communities, because, again, everyone's going to be able to rally behind these MFL communities.
Own it.
Be a part of it.
And be a part of it. And we want people to understand that, don't take this lightly. What we're doing is something so big that it can never be done again, because this is the last time that we get an opportunity to own something. And you have a lot of Africans playing in the National Football League. That's and I tell people all the time, we have to stop being consumers. We have to stop. And as you know, the black people in America is the biggest consumers in America, but we have nothing to show for it. We got to stop that. Even in Africa, with all the natural resources that they have there, they really don't have control of what they have. And it's time for us to stop that. It's time for us to just take a stand. And it's time for us to say, we're tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? And it takes one person, people, and you hear a lot of negativity about Africa, and Africa mistrust of us, and we mistrust them. I'm not that person, though. No, I believe in strength in numbers, and what we're doing, we have to unite to make this thing really work. I mean, it's big over here, but it can be big over there. We need all the media to push out, and I appreciate it. And I'm really so excited about media, not so much the media over here, because we've been here all these years. Everybody know American football.
It's time for
a change. But y'all media pushes it, it makes a difference, because now they don't know me, but they know you. That's you understand? That's and it gives them a chance, an opportunity to know me.
That's right.
So these are the types of things that I'm excited about. And what are some of the things that you're going to do in terms of, I know you have your paper, and I want to congratulate you. I was reading it. It's pretty tight. That's good. You got some good stuff.
Thank you.
Pushing the narrative to media over there and say, look, this was coming. This is here.
Yeah.
It's here. We need to support this, and they understand what the MFL is about and the changes that the MFL going to make. Not to take anything, but to give.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Let me just chip this one in. The fact that MFL is coming from United States, and they know this thing is solely owned by a black man. I'll be honest with you, that's a unique selling point right there. Mm-hmm. There are 1,001 wealthy people back in Africa. We have a whole lot of them that they don't even know what to do with the money.
Right.
Now, this kind of, in this particular situation, the money that is invested in MFL, it's not like you just throwing the money in the gutter.
There you go. It's yours. You own it.
You invest
You own it, and you own it.
Yeah.
You're not just investing in it. You own this. And this is something that cannot be taken from you. You pass it down to generation to generation. They
right now,
take this.
maybe I need to tell you something. Two things. Number one, I think it was more like a speculation in the past, that one of the richest guys in Nigeria, my country, was trying to buy over a team, a football team. I'm talking about soccer team in London.
Yeah. Put a soccer team in.
Soccer team there. Yeah. So if they could do that, I think they're going to jump at this kind of offer. I know the mentality of my people that is coming from here. Just about 2 weeks ago, my son does tracks anyway, and he got a scholarship to University of Maryland, and that's
nice. Spare the turtle.
So Terps, right?
Yes, the Terps. Yeah.
He's a hurdler. Mm-hmm. Now, just 2 weeks ago, he was telling me, because of his height, he's 6'6", that they're trying to bring him into football. They wanted him to play football and stuff like that. And all I told him was, come on, man, I wish I'd met you before then. Then I would have told him that, okay, I know someone you can talk to. Yeah. So what am I trying to say in essence is that this is a laudable initiative. It's unique. It's never been done, and it's solely owned by us.
Right.
I believe they're going to jump at the offer.
Yes.
And whatever the media can do, I can speak for all the media, but I know I still have a couple of colleagues amongst other people there. I mean, if I've practiced for like 30 years, I must have built a kind of a clientele and stuff like that, cloud. So I know we can synergize, we can collaborate, we can talk to some people that will help us to put the narratives out there to educate them on what MFL is all about and how it stands to empower our people.
I love that empowerment piece too. And I said this again, it's the for us, by us, right? It's the FUBU. It's the FUBU we used to wear, but for us. Right. And I think that's so important in history because if you remember segregation, right? So in this country, when segregation was there, unfortunately, Black-owned businesses really thrived because there was a time when we couldn't step foot in anywhere else.
So we had to support each other.
Right. HBCUs were created because at one time, me and your son couldn't go to a university in Maryland, right? So I think this is what this talks about. But I think now, more than ever, because after segregation ended, we saw the loss of Black-owned businesses. And unfortunately, I mean, there's not as many, right? Like a lot of times you really have to search for Black-owned businesses. But now today we see more entrepreneurs. We see more Black people getting the empowerment, right, to start that. And the Minor Football League is included in this. And especially when it comes to sports, we are not included in that minority group of owners. Now, we're usually in the majority of athletes, right? We're known for our athleticism, but when you trickle up that pyramid, we're not there. And the Minor Football League is trying to change that to make sure that opportunities are there for us all. There's a reason why you hear about the wealth on Wall Street and the stock markets and things like that. A lot of us aren't left anything in this country. So we kind of have to start from square one. But Myles is trying to change that so we can leave a legacy, so we can give something to our kids and our grandkids, and we keep that wealth in our communities. And, we make sure that we can live long, fruitful lives here in America and in Africa. No matter where we are, we're able to do the things that we want to do.
Absolutely. And, I'm excited about getting ready to do that dual citizenship.
Oh, okay.
And but
so you'll be coming to Africa?
Absolutely, absolutely. And
you better
we
come
talked
to my
about
country.
that, absolutely. Yeah. And the great thing about this is the MFL is a proven commodity. Right. It's not something because you know how people we tend to always wait till somebody else gets up. This is proven, 25 years strong. We still here. All these other little leagues they trying to start and everything, but the MFL is still here.
You know one thing I like about you? I'll be honest with you.
Please do.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be very blunt. You kind of midwifed this thing. You're giving birth to it. You conceived it. You midwife it. And you're going to nurture it to enviable growth. You believe so much in the project. It's not. I've been privileged to talk to a couple of people that are founders of different kind of projects, but I've never seen too many of them displaying the kind of enthusiasm that you have about this particular thing. And I'll be honest with you, that is another selling point right there. So, I'm in
it to win it. I tell people what they trying to do, I'm committed to. You know what I mean? And when these other leagues try to do something, I'm committed to it. So when you talk about MFL and all the things that we're doing, and it's our people here. You look at the MFL front office, it's us. People look, they see us. Because you know why? We're not supposed to be able to do this.
That's right.
We're not supposed to be able to do certain things, but yet we are. Miss Nelson, undergrad Georgetown, undergrad Maryland, grad school Georgetown, a young lady that's there. Everybody know. Her show is great. And now people begin to say, hey, wait a minute. See, we need to start supporting each other because as you stated earlier, when it was a time that we couldn't do nothing but support each other because we couldn't do nothing else. But then other people say, wait a minute, we need to get a little bit this. Think about the NFL is 79% African American, no owners, no GMs. What that tell you?
Wow.
Because that's the way it was set up. It was set up that way. They keep us out of that game there. We don't want you sitting at the table. They don't give you an opportunity to sit at the table.
And I think all of this just goes to how powerful the MFL is. You talked about it. 25 years. Wow. Talk about proven success in 25 years. And that's what the Minor Football League brings. And I think, Myles, having you at the helm, having NFL knowledge of the game, right? So it's not just a guy that people came off the bench and didn't know anything about the sport. He knows the sport. He played the sport. He breathed the sport. He went to school for this. And now he's sharing the wealth of knowledge, which I think is very powerful and very important and something we need more of. And you talk about the empowerment factor. I think just going back to history, because again, if you don't learn from history, history will repeat itself. Very important to know. The bus boycotts were so powerful at one time in this country because of segregation. And then people thought they didn't want it. But then all of a sudden they noticed.
All the poor people riding the buses. The public transportation for poor people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I was going to let you finish.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got excited. Go ahead.
You did. I almost had my Kanye moment. Yeah. But saying all that to say, see, now you made me lose my train of thought. This is what always happens. But saying all that to say, when they realized that the black riders were away, the bus people started looking at their pockets. And again, as you said, notice they were losing income. And guess what had to happen? Well, we're not going to lose money because at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line. And so there you behold it. The segregation was changed down south. And again, they had to start integrating the buses. Now, we know it was a problem with that, right? Because there were black seats and white seats. But again, it at least started that catalyst to, of course, now where anybody can go on any bus, no matter what color you are, no matter your creed, and just be able to ride wherever you are. And I say all that to say that's what the Minor Football League is doing. It's giving an opportunity for everyone to come on this bus ride, come along with us. And again, the door of opportunity is here. You just have to know where you want to get off, whether that be a franchise owner, whether that be a player, whether that be in the front office. It doesn't matter where you get off that bus. You're going to have somewhere to get off. An opportunity will be there waiting for you.
Yeah. Tell us, in closing, we're going to wrap this edition up. How can they get in contact with you? With your newspaper, give them the information.
Yeah, we are located at the 3313 East Glenridge Court in Glen Arden, Maryland. That's where we are located. I mean, the office, temporary office right now, because if you look at the history of the newspaper, we actually started in Philadelphia in 2009. So we moved down to Maryland. There you go. Mostly because of the business, because we have more Africans around here. So, and that's where we are now. And in terms of the phone number, my phone number is 267-262-1190. I still maintain my Philadelphia number, which is the business number at the same time.
And give them the name of your newspapers?
It's African Mirror Newspaper. African Mirror Newspaper.
And how can they get in contact with you, my co-host, Ms. Kelsey Nelson?
Sure. So I'm all over social media. You can go to my website at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at The Real K Nelson. And then on Facebook, just Kelsey Nicole Nelson. So be sure to connect with me and talk sports and talk MFL and everything else.
Absolutely. And also, you can reach us at the MFL is here. We're on all the social media, Twitter, Facebook.
Everything. We're on everything.
And,
if you Google us,
you can contact us.
SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything.
There you go. And, I want to thank you again for being here. The push is to Africa 2020. You've been listening to another edition of Inside the MFL. I'm your host, Richard Myles, along with my co-host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson from Fox Sports. We'll see you next week.
In DC, for DC, DC Radio, 96.3 HD4, and DCRadio.gov.